We became involved in the International Inspirations Programme because of the success of the Dreams and Teams initiative that we were involved in previously. We think it's going to be a synergy, but we're using Dreams and Teams as a foundation to build upon so that we can maximise the use of the young leaders and the young ambassadors and a lot of the good work that went on within Dreams and Teams. So International Inspirations becomes the next step. Our partner school in the International Inspirations project is Tembisa High School in Gauteng in South Africa. We became a partner with Tembisa High School as part of the Dreams and Teams initiative, and we're looking to forge an even stronger partnership and build on the relationships from that project.
Our school got involved in the international inspiration through the Dreams and Teams, and because the Dreams and Teams were so successful, they decided to create a brand new project called the International Inspiration, and that's how we became a part of it. Our task was to initiate, have a lot of sports programs in our schools, make sure that a lot of children are interacting and are taking part in sports, and that's the role I had to play as a young leader of the Dreams and Teams. As a young leader, I think I've acquired the necessary leadership skills that I need to take into international inspiration. I've interacted with a lot of people and I've tried to network and create a platform where everybody can just participate in sports, and that's something that I can take into international inspiration and ensure that international inspiration is a success. Firstly, I think what we'll get out of the international inspiration is international exposure, international integration, and a brief understanding of cultural diversity, where we can have a partner school maybe in Trinidad, for example, and we can start exchanging ideas, find out what they're doing in that country and how that can be implemented in our country and how it can work for us.
Challenge or somewhat challenged in terms of inclusivity. And we have also looked at a school which is disadvantaged in our neighbouring area in Malawi.
When London was bidding to stage the Olympic Games in 2012, we made a promise, and we said that if we got the privilege of staging the Games in 2012, we would put in place a legacy to inspire young people around the world to take part in sport and physical activity, and that we would give young people the chance through sport to improve their lives and change their lives. The history is we won the bid, and we're now putting that promise into action through a program called International Inspiration. And what International Inspiration aims to do is inspire 12 million young people in 20 countries to take part in sport, and through that to transform their lives. Now that's a pretty tall order, and it's not going to be achieved alone. We have to achieve this by working in partnership. And the way we're doing this is we're working in a serious long-term way with partners in all those 20 countries. We're working with ministries of education because young people start the foundation of sport at school and physical education. We're working with ministries of sports because young people who do well in school sport progress on to clubs and sporting environments outside of school. We're working with clubs, with federations of sport, national Olympic committees and national Paralympic committees. We're working in countries across the world, so for example Brazil and Trinidad and Tobago in the Americas. We're working with countries in Asia such as India and Indonesia. We're working with a number of countries in Africa, including Mozambique, Zambia, Ghana, Nigeria and also South Africa. I'm here in South Africa this week to meet with officials from the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Sport, SASCOC, which is the National Olympic and Paralympic coordinating body, and especially with schools. We have here this week 30 schools from the UK working with 30 schools in South Africa to develop projects that will inspire young people to take part in sport. So really we're looking at 3 levels for this project. We're looking at the policy level, influencing policy, so that the legacy beyond 2012 is new policies around the world that bring more young people into sport. We're working at the level of practitioners. Those are coaches, teachers, head teachers, school principals, teacher trainers. These people really at the heart of the program who will put the policies that come down from the top into practice and will provide those opportunities for young people. And finally, we're working at the level of the participants, the young people, the 12 million young people we hope will be inspired to take up sport. But it's not just about doing sport, it's also, for example, for those young people who might not be able to play sport because they have a disability but are still very interested in it, and therefore we can offer them an opportunity to become a leader in sport. They can organise sport for other young people, or they could become an umpire or an official, or they can even use sport to inspire them in the maths lesson, in the English language lesson, by writing a match report or whatever. So this is really about bringing sport into the heart of education, the heart of school life, getting kids excited and inspired about it, kids of all abilities. This program is absolutely inclusive. In fact, it's aimed in particular at those young people who wouldn't normally get the opportunity to participate. It's not about producing gold medalists, although some gold medalists come out of this fantastic. It's about getting those young people who are excluded from the opportunity to enjoy sport, to really have that opportunity. Have it in a sustainable way, so that in the schools there are improved, the teachers are better trained, there's more time for sport and PE on the curriculum. For those who are talented, they have an opportunity to move from school into clubs and begin to develop their talent in clubs, perhaps at a provincial level, and who knows, at a national level as well. So it's really an integrated strategy. Policymakers, practitioners, building the base which will allow millions of participants to participate in sport and change their lives as a result. In terms of partners, we're really working at 2 levels. We're working at a global level, and then we're working in each of the 20 countries. At a global level, we have involved UNICEF, the global charity for children. We have involved the British Council, the UK's Agency for Cultural and Education Relations. We have UK Sport, the lead body for sport in the UK. We have the Youth Sport Trust, who are working with us to deliver much of the teacher training and the improvements in policy and practice. We have the London Organising Committee for the Olympic Games, British Olympic Association, British Paralympic Association, and all of this under the umbrella of the International Olympic Committee and the International Paralympic Committee. So those are really the partnerships at a global level. Those partnerships are mirrored to a large extent at national level. So here in South Africa, for example, we're working very closely with the Ministry of Education, with Sport and Recreation South Africa, with SASCOC, which is the Olympic and Paralympic governing body and the umbrella body for the codes for the federations of sport. And of course, at the heart of it are the schools, where the real action will take place. Schools working with young people inside the school day, and then linking into the community, linking into sports clubs, linking into NGOs that bring in some of those kids who perhaps don't even go to school. So it's really trying to take a holistic view from the top level, policy level, down into schools and then out into communities, sports clubs, NGOs, community-based organisations.
So a key focus for International Inspiration in South Africa is about setting a new vision for what physical education and school sport's going to look like. And all too often what we see is a really good vision but not backed up with any action, or we see lots of action happening but with no vision underpinning it. And I think the key thing here in South Africa with International Inspiration is making sure we really bring that vision alive and that we really back it up with some great action. So over a 3-year period in South Africa through International Inspiration, we're going to be working really hard to package some great practice in school linking, to develop some fantastic case studies around how schools are developing physical education and school sport, how they're using it to improve their own schools, how they're using it to reach out into local communities to improve opportunities for young people. And we've got 3 real target areas that we're going to try and hit. So one's around how schools are truly inclusive in terms of the physical education and sport experience, so how we're making sure that they're really offering opportunities for both boys and girls, how they're really catering for young people with disabilities, and how we're using sport to really change cultural awareness.
My views on PE and sport are really based on our sports college status, which is that you can actually raise achievement, attainment, levels of esteem, status, and make you more proud through having sport in your life. Sport also is a way, through the medium of sport, you can use all the traditional aspects of sport and transfer that into raising achievement. So using things like teamwork, competition, being your best, concluding events, seeing things through, determination and cooperation. All that can be transferred over into the classroom to raise standards. Since I've arrived in South Africa, there is a framework of that already in existence, and our task is to make that more widespread so that some schools who are in very rural areas, for instance, can also take on that message and incorporate within their timetable a designated period of PE, and also the opportunity of creating young leaders. So their skill, their enthusiasm and determination will cascade down towards others in the school. And with that in mind, levels of discipline will improve, and it will remove negative elements such as bullying within the school.
To me, the entire highlight of this visit was actually meeting the different educators from the different schools, both here in South Africa and in the UK and Scotland as well. The whole experience has been phenomenal because I never thought I'd actually have this opportunity. And what I did learn that we are not unique to our own situations at our school, but I found that everything was universal with regard to the behavior problems, with regard to students, teenage problems, and as well as with regard to administration. So I just feel that the schools that I've met function just as well as us and just as normally as us. And I just think that the highlight was just meeting so many wonderful people, and I think these are the memories that I will always cherish.
I think this workshop was a wonderful opportunity to establish intercontinental relationships. I think I've gained the one thing that stands out, that I've gained a friendship, two friendships that I can take with me and can grow from it. We're going to share lots of materials with each other. We're going to share our cultures with each other, and I think that's the best thing that ever could have happened to me, to be involved in this program, and I will only gain from this experience.
I have learned that through teamwork and being motivated, we can achieve a lot. In South Africa here, our schools do not have anything. They are dilapidated, we have no facilities, but we are able to motivate our learners to achieve beyond their level and not to see what is around them. So I believe that we can learn as South Africans that if we can get more and keep motivated, we can achieve a lot more. So we need to stay motivated.
The International Inspiration Programme to me has meant an opportunity to use two large global sporting events, the 2020 World Cup here in Johannesburg in South Africa, and obviously the 2012 Olympic Games in London, as to use those two events as an inspiration for schools to really develop and progress what they do in physical education and in sport, and to share the ideas between those two countries about how they can really motivate their learners to engage in that, and really importantly to then make the link for those learners between doing physical education and sport and their academic achievement, and actually through a healthy body they can achieve a healthy mind.